For 13 years, Jacob thought he had it all, a loving wife and 2 wonderful kids. But everything changed when his wife became a fitness instructor. After making a career change, his wife became distant. Then, confessed to messaging a guy from her gym, and what seemed innocent to begin with soon escalated into a devastating revelation. The trust was gone, and their family started to fall apart, leaving Jacob to pick up the pieces. Can he save his family, or is it too late? As always, links to the original story can be found on coffeeandpopcorn.co.uk. But let's get into it. Jacob and his wife Amy have known each other for 13 years, and they met when Amy was working at a bar. They got to talking, and before he left, Jacob gave her his number, and 3 days after that, they had their first date. From that day forward, Jacob and Amy were inseparable. I mean, they were together like all the time. They were super compatible and comfortable with each other, so it really didn't take them long to move in together. Their morals and core values were perfectly aligned, and neither of them ever wanted to get a divorce, especially if they had kids. Amy came from a broken home and hates her dad for cheating on her mom and treating his kids, which are her and her brother, very poorly. When Amy got pregnant with their first child, she was homesick, so Jacob quit his job and they moved back to where she grew up. This place was 1,000 miles away. It was a place Jacob had never been to before, and he struggled to find work there. After their son was born, Jacob found himself working in retail because they needed the money.
I have no idea how much he was making, but it was probably hard to support a family on an income from a retail job.
Yeah. Things started to look up for Jacob, though, when he got accepted into med school. But it did mean they'd have to move again. They moved to another state, and while Jacob was studying his ass off, Amy was out making new friends and having a good time. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, though, because during that year, Amy had a cancer scare and miscarriage, which led to Jacob putting his studies on hold so he could fully be there for his family. Eventually, Jacob went back to his studies, but soon enough, Amy was pregnant again, and they ended up having a baby boy. Their baby was born on the day of Jacob's final exam, though, so he had to miss the test so he could be with his family.
Damn, Jacob's really not having much luck with his studies, is he?
No, you're right. But in the new year, he was able to finish the year, but he had to spend a lot of time away from his family to get it done, which, was pretty tough on him. During that time, Amy said that Jacob was neglecting her and the kids. But Jacob says that he always asked if she needed help with anything. They never actually spoke about this with each other while Jacob was studying, but she did complain about it a lot to her friends. Which personally, I don't agree with. I understand that sometimes people need to vent, but if you have an issue with your partner, you should talk to them about it. After all, that's the person you've chosen to build a life with.
Sounds like you're about to go off on another one of your rants.
No. It's just irritating to me. Anyway, Jacob ended up getting myocarditis after taking the COVID vaccine, and it really messed him up pretty bad. And as you might have guessed, he ended up missing out on most of his studies for that year. When he was well enough, though, Jacob buried his head in the books again. But
what the hell is going on with this guy? There's always something.
Yeah, he ended up getting a spinal injury that required surgery and nearly 2 years of rehab. And even after that, Jacob was never the same. Even today, he has chronic and unrelenting pain, but he's managing. Since he was pretty much out of commission, Amy decided to become a fitness instructor. She studied, became a personal trainer, got fit, and even got into bodybuilding. Jacob's always been the kind of guy to encourage Amy to follow her dreams, letting her know that she can do anything she puts her mind to. Something that the other men in her life failed to do. With all that encouragement, though, Amy found herself away from home more and more, and because she was always busy, Jacob became the primary carer for their kids. Amy would leave the house before they woke up in the morning, and wouldn't be home until after dinner. Over Christmas, she was very distant with Jacob and the kids, and even though they were on holiday, Amy couldn't stop stressing about work, which led to them having a serious talk at the start of January.
I've been feeling disconnected from you lately. We need to spend more time together. And I have to be honest with you. I've been texting a guy called Andrew from the gym for a couple of weeks and feel bad about it. It wasn't anything sexual and nothing has gone on between us.
Well, that's not what I was expecting to hear. Don't you think this is a warning for us? Maybe we should do counseling.
I agree.
He took his wife's confession as if it was nothing. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Yeah, he did. And after that conversation, Amy cuddled up to him and they went to sleep. The next day, though, Jacob asked her more questions and she admitted that things were sexual with Andrew, but nothing physical had gone on. While they were talking, she said that she'd cut all ties with him, but after chatting with a friend at work, she went back on her word.
That's not a friend. That's an enemy of her relationship.
Yeah, which is why people should stop getting others so involved in their relationships. Anyway, it turned out that this whole thing with Andrew had been going on for 2 months, and Amy suddenly decided that her relationship with Jacob was over because she didn't want to work on it anymore. The day after they broke up, and while she was supposed to be looking after the kids, Amy went to sleep with Andrew instead.
Cheating is one thing, but putting your kids at risk just so you can get off is actually disgusting.
Yeah, we don't know if they were left home alone or for how long. And for the record, Andrew's in his early 20s, Amy's in her mid-30s, and Jacob's 42. That's just something Jacob wanted us to know midway through his story. In any case, Andrew ended up dumping Amy a week or 2 after they got together, and that's when she decided that her and Jacob should do counseling.
If you dare tell me that he took her back, I'm walking out of here.
I guess you should pack up then because they started doing counseling, but they agreed to a trial separation. They didn't tell the kids about it, and Amy slept in the spare room, and while they were going through this trial, they agreed to not date or bring anyone else into this drama pot.
And how long was this trial supposed to be?
It was supposed to be for 6 months, and during that time, they'd do couples and individual counseling. They also started reading self-help books, and they talked about the things they thought applied to their relationship. And while things were getting better for them, Amy started acting weird again after she got close to someone at her gym. Apparently, she was talking with one of her clients, presumably about her marriage, and out of nowhere, a guy approached her.
You know, I've been through a divorce before. If you need some advice, I can help you. It's not an easy thing to deal with.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be nice. It's been rough.
I hear you. Believe me. Give me your number so we can talk later.
Sure, here you go.
Is that really how that conversation went down?
No, well, I don't know. I just imagine it was something like that. But it doesn't matter, because in the end, this guy, Brian, walked away with Amy's phone number. This whole thing blew up over Easter, because once again, Amy was hiding things from Jacob, breaking the little bit of trust he had left in her. Before Jacob was able to find out about Brian, Amy had already left the kids at home so she could spend 2 hours with him.
She ditched her kids again?
Yeah, apparently she was going out to clear her head, which doesn't make any sense to me, because even if that was what she really wanted to do, she should have made sure someone was around to watch the kids. Jacob's and Amy's relationship was worse than it's ever been at this point, and he couldn't trust a single thing she said. And when it came to their kids, she was totally unreliable, which is sad because they used to be her #1 priority. Jacob was looking after the kids 80 to 85% of the time because Amy was never home, and even when she was there, she didn't put in any effort. One time, she even gave the youngest one ice cream for dinner, probably because she couldn't be bothered to prepare a proper meal for them. Jacob's life is a mess, and even right now, as we're making this video, he and Amy are still going through it.
Wait, he's not still with her, is he?
No, she's with Brian, but they're constantly fighting about who should have custody of the kids. And from how things are looking, it's the sort of thing that could go on for years. For the life of me though, I don't know why Jacob tried to work things out with Amy after she cheated on him the first time and chose to be with the other guy. The only reason he even got a second chance with her is because Andrew broke it off. So the truth is, she had no intention of going back to him. She just didn't have any other choice at the time. This story makes it painfully clear that if you're not your partner's priority or the person they really want to be with, it's only a matter of time before they replace you, which is exactly what happened to Jacob. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed today's video on coffee and popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.